My husband was murdered in one of the most gruesome homicides in Florida. My husband was brutally murdered in one of Florida's most gruesome homicides. Answering questions about my husband's brutal homicide.
This is for the people behind me. I know.
Ma'am, this is a McDonald's drive-thru. The lengths some people will go to garner views and attention online nowadays really don't surprise me anymore. We've seen this time and time again here on the channel, people who do some of the craziest things for TikTok views, but I don't know if I've seen anything as slimy and weird as the TikToker we're going to be taking a look at today. This is a woman who is essentially milking her husband's death for TikTok views and as a means to advertise her book and poetry. Now on the surface level that might not seem all that bad, you know, a lot of people have a story they want to share, and that is until you realize just the sheer amount of content this TikToker is pumping out about her husband's death. It's pretty much this person's entire brand and identity. And it all leads back to one important point, of course, and that is selling her book. To give you guys a good idea of what her online presence is all about, let's take a quick look.
My husband was murdered in one of the most gruesome homicides in Florida. My husband was brutally murdered in one of Florida's most gruesome homicides. Answering questions.
I actually like to pay for the person behind me. Today is National Day of Remembrance for homicide victims, and my husband was brutally killed. So,
This is Rob, my beautiful husband, who was brutally murdered, but I'm still here.
And I've never been the same. It made me question things. That's what trauma does.
I'm going to pay for the person behind me, and I lost my husband.
This is the first time that I'm really coming forward because detectives and the prosecuting attorney urged me. Eyes bright, lips electric, rays from within, sharp and eclectic. Answering questions about my husband's brutal homicide. Husband, scar. When the grief of losing my husband becomes too great, I talk to him. I say, we can't grow old together anymore. But we can grow timeless. And in our published poems, and in my completed book ready for print, our story can be memorialized forever.
Yeah, my husband was brutally murdered, but be sure to check out my published poems and completed book ready for print. It's just a non-stop barrage of videos about her husband's death over and over again. But what if I told you this gets even weirder? What if there's a twist to this story? Because there is, and it just makes this situation all the more unhinged. The big twist is that it turns out that she wasn't even married. Yeah, someone from Reddit ended up recognizing her and did link the original story as well as her alleged husband's obituary, where there is no mention of her or a wife at all. As it turns out, they were just dating, and on top of all that, this all happened over 10 years ago. The more information there is, the weirder this gets. So they weren't married. This happened over a decade ago. She keeps on making these videos and lying about being married. This is very fucking weird. The guy's family also reportedly doesn't approve of any of this, understandably so, since this happened over a decade ago, and here she is making these non-stop TikToks. But without further ado, we're going to be taking a look at one of her most recent and viral TikToks of her recording herself at a drive-thru, spilling her guts about her brutally murdered boyfriend to a random minimum wage employee. It just keeps getting weirder.
I actually like to pay for the person behind me. Today is National Day of Remembrance for homicide victims, and my husband was brutally killed. So I just wanted to give some love today, and I hope that, you know, if anybody that you lost, and I feel like there is somebody, and she's watching you.
What is going on? There's got to be something seriously wrong if you think going up to a drive-through window and talking about someone who was brutally murdered is normal behavior. Why would some minimum wage McDonald's drive-through worker want to hear that, or any stranger at all? These employees are there to take your order, not be your therapist. And then there's a whole other level of cringe since she felt the need to record herself doing this and posted this online without any second thought. You know, I think if you wanted to be genuine about doing acts of kindness and letting people know they're loved, you wouldn't record a video of it and post it on TikTok, right?
And my husband was brutally killed. So I just wanted to give some love today, and I hope that, you know, if anybody that you lost, and I feel like there is somebody, she's watching you. She's watching you all the time, and she loves you. So this is for the people behind me. I know.
I don't think a video has made me this uncomfortable in a while. You got the sad music in the background, the sobbing, and this is all real, by the way. This isn't a skit or anything. She has been posting about this religiously for quite some time. And I gotta say, I don't really see how paying for somebody's meal relates to National Homicide Day and her boyfriend being killed. I just don't understand where the connection is there. I guess she wants to spread kindness, but then again, why did this have to be recorded in that case? That just makes this disingenuous, and this act of kindness loses all authenticity. Almost as if it was an excuse to make a video, pull at people's heartstrings, get them to look at your social media, and buy the upcoming book titled Juliet Lives.
I actually record these things. Can you say hi to people? This is Trinity.
Yeah, there's definitely a reason she does this at the drive-thru. It's because these employees have no choice but to listen. They are stuck at the window, and she is firmly in the drive-thru spot in her car. I mean, what else could she possibly do? Imagine going up to someone and shoving a camera in their face and suddenly telling them about your ex-husband who was brutally murdered. That would probably go a little differently. But yeah, this act of kindness isn't even all that kind. These people are just there to do their job, and now suddenly there's this emotional burden dumped onto them.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to pay for their order, and also if you can tell them too that today is the anniversary of when my husband was laid to rest after he was brutally killed, and that I saw that they're also military, so please thank them for their service for me.
Oh, wow.
And even if you can't remember all that, I have a letter for you to give to them.
Wow, thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Hey, here's your 2 Big Macs, and by the way, the girl in front of you wanted me to mention that today's the day her husband was laid to rest after being brutally murdered. Here's a letter she also wrote you. Have a good day. This is Unhinged. I've been taking a look at her TikTok videos, and it turns out she's done this drive-thru thing multiple times. I get wanting to spread positivity. I still don't know how paying for meals relates to her husband being murdered, but this is just unhinged. At this point, she's like one of those ice cream trucks, but instead of a truck, it's her car, and instead of ice cream, it's my husband died. So I did mention earlier that she's also coming out with a book titled Juliet Lives, which is, I guess, a spin on Romeo and Juliet. She talks quite a bit about it on her page. All these videos seem to lead to her book for sale, so let's take a look at one of these videos.
My husband was brutally murdered in one of Florida's most gruesome homicides. Answering questions about my book, it related to his murder in poem form. Quoting my friends, my book is meant to transcend, break the congestion of injustice around what happened to him so humanity can be on the mend. Because truth is healing. And his killers did this to get famous. I'll ensure Rob is. Every kind action that I witnessed from my husband will be remembered in my story for the eyes of millions. Y'all who deserve the truth. And his family who deserves to heal. I'm so sorry you didn't get a chance to meet him, but one day you will, because I'm creating my own justice and the truth around the brutality, which comes out in book 3. Wait till you read the first book. I know you are a miracle. Those listening to Romeo died, but Juliet lives to help see you through. I am not going to die like the other Juliet did, because you're giving me so many reasons to live. I have the second and the third book to write, so let's get this shit lit. No time to be grim, because there's a fire in me greater than the fire he was consumed alive in, the one that I have for the truth and the fire I have for him.
Greater than the fire he was consumed alive in. Lo and behold, that's not just a poetic line. This man was indeed burned alive, and here she is over a decade later, milking it on TikTok. This is fucking dystopian. I don't even know what to say anymore. And I want to remind you guys again that they weren't even married, yet she keeps on insisting this was her husband. Maybe because it sounds more impactful, so she can sell the book. But yeah, this rabbit hole of insanity somehow goes even deeper.
But if you do a reverse image search of any of the pictures she shows us in this video, you can easily find his name, the obituaries, the police reports, the articles, all of it. And you can find every single one of those images, except for the one where his face is covered, in that slideshow on the family's Facebook memorial page, where nowhere this TikTok creator is mentioned by any of the names and aliases that I have figured out she uses. Lisa is never mentioned in any of these obituary memorial videos, but there is a person named Anne Marie who is mentioned, but doesn't look anything like that TikTok creator, so it's not her. It's in memorial of Robert Brewer community. She's never posted in there, she's never messaged in there, she's never commented, never reacted in there, and she is not friends with any of the family of who she is claiming her dead husband to be. Why don't you have any other photographs of your husband if you were married to him? Why are the only photographs you have photographs that are easily available on the internet? Consistently posting on TikTok about how much this trauma affects her and how much she's dealing with the pain, yet 10 years ago, only 3 years after her supposed husband's death, she was having a blast. I was literally not kidding about finding her old fashion blog from 2013. Also, absolutely no mention of how she's struggling with her trauma and the loss of her husband. Back in 2013, why lie? What's with the inconsistency? Why give yourself something that you have to defend or argue your way out of, unless this is a whole lie that you are scheming up in order to sell your book? As obituary was first posted, there was no mention of any common law spouse or wife.
I have no more words, honestly. This is by far one of the weirdest and most messed up rabbit holes I've come across in the TikTok wild of attention seekers. I am also going to give credit to this person in the description who really dove deep into this rabbit hole. But anyways, I think that's going to wrap up today's video. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for some more videos coming soon to the channel. And let me know what your thoughts are on this situation. So leave a comment down below. Peace.